The wind whips across the rugged cliffs of Ahch-To, carrying the scent of salt and the endless murmur of the ocean. Here, amidst the ancient stone structures, a figure moves, cloaked and solitary, bearing a weight far heavier than any physical burden. This is not a triumphant hero, nor a serene master. This is a Luke Skywalker, a man haunted by ghosts, seeking not salvation, but oblivion. His retreat to this remote, waterlogged world was not a pilgrimage for enlightenment, but a desperate, final act of self-imposed exile. The man who had faced down an empire and redeemed his father now found himself consumed by a far more insidious enemy, his own crushing despair. The memory of his new Jedi Temple, destroyed in a single devastating night, was an open wound that refused to heal. The betrayal of his nephew, Ben Solo, who had fallen to the dark side and become Kylo Ren, felt like a personal failure of unimaginable magnitude, a testament to his own inadequacy as a teacher, as a Jedi Master. In his mind, the Jedi Order, for all its noble ideals, had become a cyclical tragedy. Its rise always seemed to be followed by its catastrophic fall, each iteration bringing immense pain and suffering to the galaxy it was sworn to protect. He saw the pattern repeated in his own life, in his own failed attempt to rebuild. This wasn't merely a setback. It was, to Luke, definitive proof that the entire legacy was flawed, inherently destined to bring more destruction than peace. The Jedi, he concluded, were not the answer. They were the problem. And so, with a heart heavy with sorrow and conviction, he made a devastating decision. He would not just abandon the galaxy, he would abandon the Jedi. He would seek out the location of the first Jedi Temple, the very origin point of the Order, on the desolate planet of Ahch-To. But his intention was not to rediscover ancient wisdom, nor to find a new path forward. His profound act of despair was to go there to die, and in doing so, to take the Jedi Order with him, ending its long, painful saga once and for all. He believed that if the Jedi were allowed to fade into the dust of history, if their flame were finally extinguished, then perhaps, just perhaps, the galaxy could truly find peace without their interference, without their inherent destructive cycle. The Jedi, he concluded, were not the answer, they were the problem. And so, with a heart heavy with sorrow and conviction, he made a devastating decision. He would not just abandon the galaxy, he would abandon the Jedi. He would seek out the location of the first Jedi Temple, the very origin point of the Order, on the desolate planet of Ahch-To. But his intention was not to rediscover ancient wisdom, nor to find a new path forward. His profound act of despair was to go there to die, and in doing so, to take the Jedi Order with him, ending its long, painful saga once and for all. He believed that if the Jedi were allowed to fade into the dust of history, if their flame were finally extinguished, then perhaps, just perhaps, the galaxy could truly find peace without their interference, without their inherent destructive cycle. Reaching Ahch-To was an arduous journey, fraught with the very real dangers of a hostile galaxy, but the true battle lay within. Once settled on the windswept island, Luke performed an act of spiritual self-mutilation that few could ever comprehend. He cut himself off from the Force. Imagine, if you can, a living conduit to the very energy that binds the universe, a man who had felt the Force flow through him as naturally as breath, willfully severing that connection. The vibrant symphony of the cosmos, the comforting presence of his former mentors like Obi-Wan and Yoda, the distant echoes of his friends and family, all went silent. A profound, self-inflicted quietude descended upon him, isolating him not just from the galaxy, but from the very essence of his being. His days became a monotonous rhythm of survival, devoid of the higher purpose that had once defined him. Fishing for sustenance, scavenging for whatever the harsh environment offered, existing. Each sunrise brought not hope, but another confirmation of his chosen isolation, a new day to simply endure. The vastness of the ocean that surrounded Ahch-To mirrored the emptiness within, a landscape as barren of connection as his own spirit. He chose a life of lonely, bitter solitude on the edge of the galaxy, a hermit consumed by his past, waiting for the inevitable end, convinced that his own demise would be the final, necessary sacrifice for a better future, one without the burden of the Jedi. This was the fate of the galaxy's great hero, not a glorious end, nor a peaceful retirement, but a slow, self-imposed fading. A testament to the crushing burden of perceived failure and the devastating power of despair that can grip even the strongest among us. Luke Skywalker's exile on Ahch-To is a poignant and tragic chapter, revealing the profound depth of his suffering and the weight of a legacy he believed was utterly broken. It's a somber reminder that even the most heroic figures can be consumed by their inner demons, seeking to erase themselves and their perceived failures from existence. His story on Ahch-To is a profound chapter in the saga, a stark portrayal of a hero at his lowest ebb, wrestling with the meaning of his life and the very purpose of the Jedi. What are your thoughts on Luke's devastating decision and his solitary time in exile? Share your insights in the comments below. And if you found this exploration thought-provoking, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more journeys into the heart of these compelling stories.